laws, they're not made based on social media content. There's nobody from home office who is sitting down watching.
And watching if I
Falo's TikTok. You say, oh, Falo said the dependent came. Okay, let's remove the dependent. Came to the UK. Those days you could get a GP appointment within a week, sometimes same day. But nowadays, to get a GP appointment, you have to wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Let's talk about COS. Now, what should I do if I'm working with an employer who had promised me COS, probably 5 years, and when the time to give the COS came, he gave me 2 years. After finishing the 2 years, instead of extending the COS, then he decided to terminate. What can I do? Do I have any legal right to sue that person?
The problem with COS, people buying and selling of COS, first of all, it's not criminalized. So it always comes across as a civil matter. That is why you've not seen anyone being arrested. The police may not even take action. Even first of all, if you meet PC Harry, PC Harry doesn't even know what the COS.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Follow Frequency, where we narrate the abroad story unfiltered. And on today's episode, we'll be diving into a conversation that is very, very sacrosanct, very crucial to every immigrant here in the UK, and even to those in Nigeria that are planning to come to the UK, whether now or in the future. We'll be talking about the legal implications of the immigration law that has been effected in July 2025. And on today's podcast, I have invited one of the most influential lawyer, UK immigration lawyer, as far as immigration lawyer is concerned, law is concerned. This is one of the most influential lawyers, especially on social media. You cannot be on TikTok and not know this man. It's not possible. And I have done you that. I have that privilege and singular honor to bring on the podcast today, Barrister Eni.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be on your podcast.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Yeah, so my name is Eni Oja. I'm an immigration lawyer based in the UK. I'm also a partner in AKK Solicitors. So we're a firm of solicitors, and we are regulated by the Solicitors Regulatory Authority to provide immigration advice and services in the UK. So we're based in London and in Bristol. And I also do occasional TikTok lives to address some trending and contemporary immigration issues as it concerns the UK.
Thank you very much. No TikToker in this UK will say they don't know Barrister Eni. I'm very sure. So in the studio here with me, I'm not alone. I'm here with my colleague and partner, Mr. Fesojai, who will be co-hosting with me. Mr. Fesojai, let's meet you, sir.
All right. Yeah. As you've said, my name is Fesojai, and we'll be here discussing all immigration issues, and I guess people that will be watching later, they will learn one or two things.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fesojai. Now, lawyer, back to you. So to start with, I'm going to say you're doing a great job on TikTok, because I imagine the amount people would have spent on consulting a lawyer, and you do all of that for free on TikTok. That's a lot. That's a lot. And that is the essence of this whole thing, impacting, giving back. Yeah, and you're doing a great job in that area. I really want to commend you for that. So let's go to where the questions will no longer be friendly, where I might not be smiling like this again. So to start with, I'm very concerned about students. So I'm going to be starting my questions from the student angle. The new law, how does it affect students? The ones currently on their postgraduate, the ones currently going to school, and the ones who are still thinking come to the UK to the student route, and most especially the people that came to the UK via the student route but could not pay their tuition, they could not balance their tuition fee. What is their fate? What should they do?
Okay, all right. Students. I also came in as a student over a decade ago. I came as a scholar. I had a scholarship. That was how I came over a decade ago. So I'm very passionate about students. In fact, why I was coming up on TikTok was mainly because of students. Students are, I think, one of the vulnerable immigrants that you have in the UK, you know. So for students, I think let me just touch on the most significant changes for students. So let's start from, so I think 2023, sometime 2023. So before, students could come in and were allowed to switch to skilled worker visa without having to complete their school.
Yeah.
But as always, that I call it a loophole or leniency was abused. So you see Babatunde will come in January start.
By March.
And then
don't switch
Babatunde don't get COS.
But truly, do you
abandon the
main reason why he came here?
And then switches to a student
care visa. Yeah.
You understand? Then the school will now start looking for him. Come and go to school or pay
balance. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, I think, the Home Office. You know, they would work on data and statistics.
Yeah.
So they realized a lot of people were switching without going to school. So that means they were not really genuine students. So they had to. That was like one of the first significant changes to the student visa route. So you have to complete your course, and before you can switch to any other visa under the point-based system. Yeah, so that was the first significant change. So after that, they went to dependents. So before, students could come in with dependents. That's master students could come in with dependents, but it was also abused because they've realized countries like Nigeria, Pakistan, India were coming in with the most independence, unless you're doing a MRes, that's Masters in Research, or a PhD, or you are a scholar. So if you're a scholar sponsored by a government or an organization, then you're allowed to bring your dependents. And so that's, I think, the most significant changes. So now, if you are withdrawn from school for any reason, be it finance or academic offense, maybe plagiarism, then Home Office would curtail your visa after being notified by your sponsor, which is the university. And upon notification, when they they'll cancel your visa and curtail it to 60 days. And then you would now have to either leave the country or make an application to stay.
That is where I want to come in.
Okay.
What can the person do?
Yes, so that's where it becomes complex. So because when you see that letter, it says you should leave the country or make an application to stay, or application for permission to stay. So if you don't seek legal advice, you think, I can maybe get a COS or do this and that. But the letter won't tell you that you won't meet the course completion or student switching requirement under the point-based system. Because as a student, if you don't complete your course, then you won't be able to switch. You get, so for a student in that situation, it's more like a dead end. Unless you are trying to switch to the family life or private life route or any of the protection routes.
Now, from that family life, it's probably mean you are finding a true love who is settled or a citizen who wants to. And I heard, I don't know if it's a rumor or if the law has been enacted already, that if you come in as a student, you cannot switch to that particular visa. Is it rumor?
No, that's not correct.
That's not correct.
That rule was, I think it was promulgated sometime this year, I think July or so. Yeah, so it only applies to dependents under the point-based system. So a dependent of a skilled worker, dependent of a student, or dependent of someone on creative worker visa, or anything point-based system. Yeah, so the reason, so like I said, for every, or like I normally say, for every immigration rule or change, there's a reason behind it. And if you look at those reasons objectively, you realize that some of them, sometimes it makes a lot of sense. So like I said earlier, a lot of people came in with dependents, and then some of them were sham marriages, So the reason why they stopped that or implemented the eligibility requirement under the family life route is that if you come in as a dependent of Babatunde, who is a student or a skilled worker, if your relationship breaks down, then let's say you found someone else, love who is British or settled, then you'll be required to leave the country and make application to enter, or an entry clearance application from abroad.
It's now looking like it's in two ways. Let's assume I'm the main applicant.
Yeah.
I don't have a dependent. I came to the country and I'm unable to pay my tuition. I'm a widow. What can I do? Does it mean that I can marry somebody who is settled?
Yes, I was going to come to that. So that rule applies only to dependents. So like a partner of a student or partner of a skilled worker.
Does not apply to the main applicant.
Doesn't apply to the lead applicant. And when you say lead applicant can be a single person.
A single person.
Can be a married person.
Can be a married person.
But if his relationship breaks down and he came in and started a relationship with someone else who is British or settled, as long as the relationship is genuine and subsisting, then he will be able to switch if he meets all other requirements, like the financial requirements. And
I think that is very clear. I think
but for the dependent, what the rule is now saying,
he has to go back.
He or she has to go back and apply for entry clearance. Because that's the new eligibility requirement.
I guess.
So certain exceptions may apply. So if maybe there is a relevant child involved, then it might be granted in country based on exceptional circumstances, or maybe there is serious medical condition, and the person can't go back to apply to come back. Then they can apply from within. But the threshold is very high, so sometimes it's easier to apply from outside the UK.
Understand? Okay, Professor Jai, let's have you now.
Yeah. So over time, the governments have been trying to, hammer more on reducing net migration, right? So from your own legal perspective, do you think it's realistic or it's just a political talk?
Well, it's a bit of both. So like I said earlier, every immigration rule there's a reason behind it. And we as immigrants, you have to look at it objectively. You understand? So like guys, the immigration rule is dynamic. It changes every time according to what is going on. So now this reduction of net migration, if you look at it, they're looking at, the effect it has, the migration has on services like NHS, housing, which other industry, schools, even schools. So when you have a lot of people coming in at the same time from maybe 2020 till now, and you realize that now there's so many people in the country and we have limited facilities, then that's why they say, okay, no, let's take a break. You get, so that's the reason on the political side.
Yeah, I think what I want to chip in there is that so this OT is not targeted at any.
No, it's not,
because the way I look there, so it's the content creators that are making.
So we can now say that the government are trying to look at what they have. Can, let's say, in terms of education, in terms of hospitality, in terms of housing, even benefits, will what we have be sustainable to people that are coming in? So probably they try to check the ratio and the metric. They discover that there's a problem. So they had to make sure they need to put all these things in place before there is hula baloo.
Yeah. So that's just the reason. So, like you've said, a lot of some of our people, they don't look at things objectively. So they feel targeted. And then they now blame it on Falo. Falo did content about
it's content creator.
So let me just put it out there. Immigration rules and policies and laws, they are not made based on social media content. There is nobody from home office who is sitting down watching Falo's TikTok. We say, Falo said the dependent came. Okay, let's remove the dependent. Falo said this one is doing this. Nobody's doing that.
So it's based on data.
It's based on data and statistics. So you have data analysts and they know how things work. So when they look at all those things, like when I came to the UK, those days you could get a GP appointment within a week, sometimes same day. But nowadays, to get a GP appointment, you have to wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks. In fact, there was a time it was even months. You understand? So those are the things. Even schools. You had a client who came in. They came in some time ago, and they said they couldn't find a space in a school within their area because the school is full. Because a lot of immigrants are coming in with children. So you can see that's another reason behind the dependent ban. And they've also banned it for some jobs as well, some occupations.
I mean, I'm glad someone speaking from the legal perspective that it is not content creators that.
No.
So I'm going to ask about, now let's go to COS.
Okay.
You see that 3-letter COS? I don't want to see what came to my mind, but
certificate of sponsorship.
But let's talk about COS. Now, what should I do if I'm working with an employer who had promised me COS, probably 5 years? And when the time to give the COS came, he gave me 2 years. After finishing the 2 years, instead of extending the COS, then he decided to terminate. What can I do? Do I have any legal right to sue that person? What should I do?
And before you answer that, Barrister, after you answer, I have a blatant question to that, and I would love you to answer that.
Okay,
please.
that's fine. So let me just say, sponsorship or visa sponsorship is not an employee right.
Okay.
It's not, you are not entitled to be sponsored. Even if you are working like Jackie.
You are the best one.
Even if you are the best. It's not an employee right. Employee rights is health and safety, statutory pay, maternity pay, minimum wage, those things, holiday. Those are your employee rights. But sponsorship is not an employee right. It's it's a prerogative or at the discretion of the employer if they feel the need to.
Okay, what if I not give me COS and there's no work on that COS? Like I'm not even meeting my 37 or 48 hours.
Okay, so that's on the flip side of it. So if you are being sponsored, it is not your responsibility to provide work for yourself.
Okay.
Because you are not self-employed.
So what should I do? Should I report to home office?
Yeah, in that case, you need to raise it with your employer first.
Okay.
And then if they're not doing anything about it, then if you want to notify the home office, you can. But it's the employer's duty as a sponsor to update the home office or let them know that, I have a sponsored worker, but maybe due to whatever reason, we can't provide job for them. And in that case, the home office will cancel your visa.
Okay, sorry, Professor Jai.
All right.
I don't want to use the direct words, but I want to say, what is the legality around COS scam?
Okay, well, COS scam, that's another...
I don't want to say...
So the problem with COS, people buying and selling of COS, first of all, it's not criminalized. So it makes it, it's not, so it always comes across as a civil matter. That is why you've not seen anyone being arrested or prosecuted for selling COS, because it always comes across as a civil or recruitment matter. So you met someone online and they said, I'll help you do your CV, I'll help you get a job. And that job comes with COS. But you have to pay so amount for the service. You understand? And then you pay the money and then let's say they fail to provide the COS. So it looks like a breach of contract. That's how it comes across. But we all know it's like a scam. But because of, the way the system is here, it's not expressly criminalized in the sense that the police may not even take action. Even first of all, if you meet PC Harry, PC Harry doesn't even know what is COS. He told you someone paid money for COS. What are you on about? What's COS, mate? He doesn't know what COS. So that's one. And then it's not criminalized, so they won't be able to, take any action or even refer to the CPS. CPS is a Crown Prosecution Service. So that's why a lot of people are doing it and getting away with it. So that's why I always warn people, don't do it. Don't even pay any money for it.
All right. So
you understand?
Okay,
so on the contrary, my question is, what's the legal right of someone that has been working with a company, probably when the person is on PSW, post-study visa, work visa, and probably they told the person or promised the person that work and after 6 months, we'll get you your certificate of sponsorship. And at the tail end of 6 months, the person was unable to get and they disappoint. So what is the legal standing of that person? One. Two, secondly, we've had scenarios of people that work with companies, and at the tail end they discover that the company is not paying their tax. What should people that find themselves in such situations, what should they do?
Okay, firstly, like I said, this being sponsored or visa sponsorship is not an employee right. So even if you work with someone for 1 year and you've been working from morning till night, you are doing overtime, you are the best. If they fail to sponsor you, then it's not you can't take any legal action. It's not actionable. You get. So some employers keep to their word, some don't, and some genuinely wanted, maybe had the intention of sponsoring you, but maybe due to finance or some operational reasons they cannot, or it could even be due to change of immigration rules. Like most companies, in my experience, sometimes they can't sponsor you because of the salary requirement, because minimum wage is £12.21, while the salary for a skilled worker, a care worker visa is £12.82. So that's about 50p difference. And if a company calculates, if they want to sponsor 20 people times 37 times 11, so that's a lot of money for them. Yeah, so that's one thing. So I always advise, if I had a client last week, we had a consultation and said, the employer, she was doing overtime, she put all her effort, but they failed to sponsor her. So I'm like, there's nothing we can do. You just have to be diplomatic about it, because it's not your right. Then for the taxes, so it's one of the requirements for you to be a sponsor, you have to be registered as a PAYE employer with the HMRC. So that means you employ people and pay them on pay as you earn. So normally you have to remit their taxes to the HMRC and all that. So but now with the HMRC app, you can always check what your employer is remitting to the HMRC. And if you notice that they are not doing that, then you could just raise it with them.
All right. So follow. I just want to ask one question. Okay. And I think this question will help a lot of people that will be watching this. It's a scenario. So there is this person that got an sponsorship from a company. And after working for about 5 months, he had to switch. And he switched to a new company and started working. But while he was working for the old company, he wasn't on HMRC app, right? And he now jumped on, registered on the HMRC app, and he now discovered that the old company was not in his history as someone that has worked in the UK under sponsorship, right? So when it's time to apply for ILR, will the old sponsorship tenure or term be counted as someone that has worked in the UK? Probably, let's say, probably on the new visa, on the new sponsorship, the person now starts, I've worked for about four years and some months. Well, the person now had that 5 months that I've worked with the whole sponsor, add to it to make 5 years, because, the whole company is not on the HMRC record that the person had worked. What in such situation, should the person still go ahead and apply for ILR, or wait to work more on the present COS? I know this will help a lot of people at home.
Yeah. I've addressed this a lot on my TikTok live. So let me put it this way.
Okay.
You've come in as a skilled worker, and the company that brought you did not provide work for you. So let's say this happened, you were provided with no work for about a year, and then luckily for you, you were able to get another job that sponsored you, and you've switched, and then you're like, okay, I have 4 more years to do my 5 years. to ILR. So would I be eligible for ILR even though I did not work at all in the first year? Now, the answer is yes, you will be eligible as long as you've done 5 years as a skilled worker and your visa was not cancelled. In fact, even if it was cancelled and curtailed, as long as you switched during the time it was curtailed, or even during the time you had a pending visa, either a pending application, either FLL or asylum or whatever, as long as you have not overstayed or your continuous residence has not been broken, then you always get your ILR upon completing 5 years. Now, the most relevant part of where the salary requirement or the job itself is, the most relevant part is 5th year. According to the rules, or according to the guidance, the 5th year is where it's most relevant in terms of meeting the salary requirement and then working for your sponsor. So there's been, I think early this year, the government made provision for displaced workers, which displaced workers are described as someone who has come in as a skilled worker, but the company did not provide work for them or their license was revoked. You understand? So that period where you did not work is not going to be taken into account for the purpose of ILR, as long as you haven't broken your continuous residence or you haven't overstayed. No, that's just.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Because I wanted to ask a question about why do they revoke license, and when the company's license is revoked, what should the employee do?
Okay, well, the reason why your licenses are being revoked is because the sponsors are not complying with their their duties under as a sponsor. So one of them, you have to keep records, you have to make sure you provide work for your employees or your sponsored staff. You have to pay the right salary, which is, like I said, £12.82 for a sponsored staff. But someone who's not on a skilled worker visa, you can pay them £12.21, which is the minimum wage. So those are the reasons why they revoke your sponsor licenses.
Now let's switch a little bit from K. Now, to be sponsored in other sector, that's not K now. What's the requirement? Like self-sponsored kind of.
Okay, well, all occupations have their salary requirements. Apart from, so the difference between care worker visa or the skilled worker visa for a care worker and the other ones is just basically, I think, the salary.
Okay.
So for a care worker, the salary requirement is £25,000 per year. But if you go to the higher skilled jobs like data analysts, IT, and all that, doctors, they all have their,
I think 40,000,
41,000. No,
41,000.
I don't really keep the salary in my head, but it's about 41,000 or so. But there could be some exceptions if you are a fresh graduate and all that. Yeah.
Okay, so there's this thing about, I'm the main applicant, but I do TikTok, I do Facebook, and I make money from this this app. Now, and I'm being sponsored by a company. Am I meant to do, because people ask, you cannot do TikTok because you are a main applicant, you are under sponsorship, it's going to count against your ILR, blah, 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 blah. Can I make money? Can I do business if I am sponsored, if I'm under a company as working with COS?
Well, you can do business. You can. You understand? And what was I going to say? You're allowed to do business. You understand? And the rule allows you to do 20 hours supplementary employment.
So what if I'm doing 20 hours somewhere, maybe doing support 20 hours somewhere, but I'm still earning money from Facebook or TikTok? Yeah,
so I was going to go to that. So there's you can work, there's an occupation under the list of skilled occupations, which is social media influencer. I believe Facebook is social media influencing, right? So you can legitimately do that job 20 hours.
Okay, you just use it as your 20 hours.
Yes.
Then you don't need to go and pick another shift, 20 hours somewhere else.
No, it's only 120 hours per week. But you have to be working with your sponsor full time.
For
you to do the 20 hours.
The 20 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So what if I now have a company and I'm under COS?
Yeah. So you can be a director in a company.
Even though I'm under COS, I'm working under COS.
You can own shares in a company. And then, the company is a distinct entity from the directors. So the company can be a social media company, Valor Frequency Limited. you're a director with minimal shares. Maybe your partner or someone else is also a director. Maybe you guys are partners.
A person
and then the company you can work for the company as your supplementary employment and get paid 20 hours per week. You understand? Okay. As long as you're working with your main sponsor. So for TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, you're allowed to work as a social media influencer 20 hours per week. Paid by that company.
20 hours per week.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any documentation to that, or do you have to like?
It's just like a normal employment. So you even when let's assume you're British or whatever settled person. You set up a company. You can be working. You can own the company and still be paid under the company, an employee. So what I'm trying to say is that the company is different from the owner.
From the person.
Yes. So if you set up a company and the business of the company is social media, influencing and all the content creation and all that.
It is assumed that you are not the person, you are not the company.
Yeah, you're not the company, you are just an owner, a director. But the company can now pay you 20 hours weekly for the social media influencing you're doing. And you can earn that legitimately.
So, Barrister, so the issue of, there was a time we had the issue on Twitter about one lady applied, and so should we assume that was a fallacy?
It's a fake story. It's a fake story.
It's a fake story. Right. So that will lead me to this question. So far, it's been really engaging here, and you've really did justice to every question we've asked. Why immigration law? What really fascinated you to decide and say, me, I really want to do this? Why immigration law?
It's the money.
Falo, can you hit this? It's the money.
Oh, my man. Like I said, I came in as a scholar over a decade ago, and being a student, I can relate with what people go through, especially students. In fact, those days, there was no care worker visa, so you didn't really have all this japa and all that. So students are very vulnerable and could be misled or led astray if they don't have the right legal advice or the right information or the right interpretation of information. You understand? So because of that, I made up my mind to, practice full-time as an immigration lawyer and also help people, just like what I do on TikTok Live. So, and just answer questions and just help,
Yeah, so far, probably in, years of experience, when people, I know most people must have, bring cases of whereby their visas were being refused.
Yeah.
So far, what mistakes do you think immigrants makes when they are trying to renew or, apply for